Currently, I have two personal item bags that I use the most, the Everywhere Away bag and the Nomad Lane Bento Bag. I've used each of them on multiple trips, and every time I use one instead of the other, I get asked which one I like better. And the truth is, I use and love both of them, but for totally different reasons. So in this video, I'm going to compare them, highlight the differences, and share which travel scenarios I think each one is best suited for. So by the end, you'll know exactly which bag is right for you. Let me start with a quick overview of each bag. This is the Everywhere bag by the brand Away, and you can see the dimensions on the screen. This is a bag that fits under the seat on a lot of airlines, but I'll touch more about airline compliance later in the video. At first glance, it looks like an elevated tote duffel hybrid, but the main standout for me is the full wraparound zipper, which lets the main compartment open up extremely wide. This means no more digging into a bottomless black hole, especially with the light gray interior. It has a roomy and padded 16-inch laptop compartment on the back, and it's separate from the main space, which makes it quick to pull out at airport security or out from under the seat on the airplane. There's also a small front zippered pocket. It is tight, but it'll fit either a passport, a slim wallet, or a phone. To me, that's a way prioritizing sleek design over bulk, but I think it also adds a level of security because the pocket looks almost hidden. You barely know it's there. So if you've got something valuable in it, no one's gonna see it. Overall, I think the look of this bag is very minimalist and sleek, and it comes in several neutral colors, and it's made of water-resistant nylon. The bag itself is soft and unstructured, so when it's empty, it does sag a little, but that actually works in your favor when you're trying to squeeze it into an airline sizer. This is the Bento bag by the brand Nomad Lane, and you can see the dimensions on the screen. I describe it more as a self-sufficient travel bag. It's not just a personal item, it's a mini suitcase in disguise. It opens up clamshell style right down the middle, revealing two main compartments that you can pack how you want. One side is spacious enough for a couple of outfits and holds both a laptop and a tablet. The other side has built-in pockets with matching bags to stow your toiletries and tech pouch. This way, you can pull them out quickly in the airport security line instead of digging through your bag. This is one of my favorite features because even if you do have something like TSA PreCheck or Nexus where you don't need to pull those items out for security, it still makes it really easy to access once you're on the plane and you want to pull something out like hand lotion or earbuds or your phone or your charger without performing an archaeological dig. There's also a large front zippered pocket that runs nearly the entire width of the bag, plus a trolley sleeve that doubles as a pocket when zipped at the bottom. And the bright orange interior makes it easy to see all of your things. Compared to the Away bag, the Bento has structure to it, so it holds its shape even when it's empty. Basically, the Away bag is the chic minimalist friend, and I would say the Bento bag is that type A friend who color codes their spice rack. And I also put together a full written guide on my blog with side-by-side charts and pros and cons if you want to see all of these things laid out more clearly. Each bag fits under the seat with ease, and in most cases, we still have room left over. I really like the Bento bag for pulling out and accessing in-flight essentials, especially if they're smaller items that I can grab from multiple different pockets instead of having one large compartment to look through. The Everywhere bag doesn't have as many compartments, but the giant wraparound opening means I can see everything all at once, so it really depends on what you're packing. If you're more of the dump it in and deal with it later type of traveler, you'll like this bag. When I review luggage, when possible, I always like to test the airline sizer bins. Personal item sizers, though, are harder to find compared to carry-ons. And that's because this is an area that's very loosely enforced. And in my experience, both of these bags technically fit under the seat, even if they don't always fit in the sizer. For example, the Bento doesn't really fit the WestJet or Air Canada personal item sizer, but it slides under the seat no problem. I've taken the bento on multiple WestJet and Air Canada flights without issue. And here's some footage of me testing the bento bag in the airline sizer for Flair Airlines, which is the same size as Air Canada and many airlines around the world. And it technically fits. So when you're shopping for a personal item bag that meets a certain dimension, I would say that as long as you're close, within an inch or about 5 centimeters on either side, you're probably going to be fine. As long as you don't overstuff it and allow yourself some room to squish it in on the off chance you do have to size it.
That's it. I've flown with way bigger personal item bags than this.
It's only an issue if you're flying on an ultra low cost, no frills, cheap airline, or if you're flying on the ultra basic, lowest fare that only allows you to fly with a personal item. And if you're doing that, you might as well just use a backpack instead. On most major airlines, at least in North America and Europe, if they do bring out the sizers, it's to size your carry-on, not your personal item. And it's probably because you're in one of the last boarding zones. So my pro tip for you is if you're nervous about being called out, don't buy a ticket that puts you in the last boarding zone. And remember that bags are like clothes. Darker colors are slimming. A stuffed black bag is barely noticeable, whereas a stuffed lighter color bag looks like it's fighting for its life. So when in doubt, choose black and you're gonna have a much better time. Now, a second ago, I referenced a backpack, and I think each of these bags are best when they're paired with a roller carry-on. That way, it sits on top of your suitcase as you walk and you're in transit, instead of carrying it on your shoulder or across your body. Because of their size, if you pack each of these to capacity, they're going to be pretty heavy to carry on their own for any length of time. But if you're someone who always travels with a roller carry-on, you won't need to carry these bags. So here's what they look like paired with some of my favorite carry-ons. The away bag retails for $195 and the bento bag retails for $298. But if you use code ALLY10, you get 10% off, which brings down the price to about $268. So yes, they're an investment. But if you're someone who travels often, these bags earn their keep pretty fast. They're designed to make your life easier at the airport, in transit, and at your destination. And honestly, once you've used a well-designed, high-quality personal item bag, it's really hard to go back to a random tote or something cheap from Amazon. You will absolutely notice a difference in quality and in build. I'd say the Away gives you a sleek, functional option at a lower price point, while the Bento is more of a pay a bit more to get every feature you didn't know you needed kind of value. All right, so who are each of these bags best for? The Everywhere bag is definitely a little bit smaller, so it's going to fit more international airline dimensions. It's less structured, so when it's not fully packed, it can squeeze into smaller airline sizers more easily. I like to use this bag when I want more of a catch-all bag on my travels. Like if I'm going to collect things along the way, or if the weather or climate is going to be varying a lot, it's really easy to quickly open up and grab a jacket or pack away a sweater. It's a bit more flexible. And in between trips, it's stylish and functional enough that you could use it for everyday things. Like you could use it for work, commuting, for the gym, anything like that. The bento bag is for the ultimate hyper-organized traveler, or if you aspire to be one, this bag will help you get there. It's ideal for people who want a compartment and a pouch for everything. The bento bag holds a lot more, so if you're needing to travel carry-on only for a longer trip, you can pack more into this bag. You can pack a few more outfits, even a pair of shoes, almost doubling your carry-on space. I like it for trips where I'm changing hotels pretty frequently. I find that I can keep all of my little travel knickknacks and essentials in one place without having to unpack and repack this bag every couple of days. So I'll keep cords and chargers, all my little things just in the bag, and then move the bag around the room where I need it. That way I don't lose anything. Or if I'm flying a lot, I'm going to be going through security pretty often, lots of connections. It's a lifesaver because of the quick access to liquids, electronics, and documents. And because of its structure, nothing spills out when you unzip it halfway on top of your suitcase. Basically, if chaos stresses you out, the bento bag is your emotional support travel item. So I guess what I'm trying to say is both of these bags are fantastic. It really comes down to how you like to travel and how you like to pack. I would say if you want flexibility and everyday style, the Away Everywhere bag is your best bet. If you crave structure, organization, and a sense of calm every time you unzip, the Nomad Lane Bento Bag will change your life. I hope that this video was able to give you some different scenarios and situations in which I like using one over the other. So hopefully that will help you when you're thinking about the types of trips that you take and the type of traveling that you do. If either of these feel like your perfect travel companion, you'll find links to both of the bags in the video description or by scanning the QR code. Go check them out because honestly, once you upgrade to a real personal item bag, there's no going back. And don't forget to check out my blog post where I also have some alternatives to each of these bags. And if I left anything out or if you have additional questions about either bag, let me know in the comments. I love hearing what you're looking for in a personal item bag, and I'll do my best to help you out. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.